Hello and welcome to our catalogue launch day. We are so excited to bring you some lovely products, all featured in the Celebration brochure from January to the end of February, earning a free product from here with your minimal purchases, and the mini catalogue running from January to April. My card today is featuring two Celebration products, both of which you can earn for free with a minimal purchase. The first one is the Dainty Flowers 12-inch designer series paper, and I'm going to quickly show you the patterns that are involved here. These are all beautiful scenic garden papers, so with a reverse side featuring some lovely splatters here, ink splatters. These are sections that can be cut here, make some borders, cut these out and use them on 6 different cards, and the reverse of that has got different splatters. This one is beautiful and can be split down the middle and cut into 6 panels to make 6 cards, or on the reverse we have some beautiful greenery on here as well. This one has got some lovely pale backgrounds all in the greens and some lovely ferns, and on the back we have the lilacs. Then this one is the rich raspberry feature with some mossy meadow greenery in there, and the blue on the back. And then the last but not least, we have a nice country meadow type feel with the pink florals on the back here. Today I'm starting my project with half a sheet of cardstock, and I'm going to score this in centimetres at 5, 7.5, 13.5 and 16, or 2, 3, 5.25 and 6.25 inches. So I'm putting this in my trimmer here, and I'm going to start off with the 5 centimetre because I'm working in metric. 5 centimetres and 7.5. Now, if you find it easier, instead of opening the arm, you can go to the 13.5 or 16, or you can turn it round and do exactly the same from the other end. So I'm going to do 5 centimetres and 7.5 again from there. Okay, so that's all my scoring for now. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to bring to the inside fold and fold it inwards to the card. And then the next fold I'm going to bring outwards. And turn it around and do exactly the same the other side. So the inside one inwards and the next one outwards. Okay, and that has formed my base card, which will be like so. Okay, now I've already cut some layers here to save time. So my mossy meadow card here is all scored as per the instructions earlier. So I'm going to just place these layers on here. These are my rich raspberry matte layers in the middle. So this one panel here is 5.8 by 16.4 centimetres, or 2.25 by 5 1/8. The 2 side panels are at 4.8 centimetres by 14.6 centimetres, or 1 7/8 or by 5 1/8 inch. And then my second layers, I've got my designer series paper that I'm using today, and this is at 5.5 centimetres by 14.3, or 2 inches by 5.25 inches. And then 2 pieces either side at 4.5 centimetres by 14.3 centimetres, or 1 3/4 inches by 5.25 inches. So using my Tombow adhesive, I'm going to adhere these 2 layers together and then onto those panels. So with all our panels stuck down, we're just making sure that all of those patterns are facing the same direction. And then I'm going to re-emphasize those creases along there with my bone folder. Okay, now I have a pre-cut circle here in rich raspberry, and this is cut with the stylish shapes dies. Then I have a piece of basic white, the same in a smaller size, and this was also cut from the stylish shapes. Now this one is going to be placed in our raindrops embossing folder and pass that through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And here is that piece on here, and I'm going to attach that now on some Stampin' Dimensionals. So placing 3 of these on here in a triangle. These really are alive today, aren't they? These, don't you find that the backs of these Stampin' Dimensionals get absolutely everywhere? So I'm going to place this just to one side here. I'm going to place this on my circle, getting it nice and central. Okay, so that's going to go on here as well, and that's going to be on Stampin' Dimensionals as well. And I want to make sure that my raindrops are facing downwards like this. That's going to go in the center of my panel. Just flatten that to make sure I get it in the center. So my little embellishment on the front of the card today is from the Adorable Owls stamp set, which is a free item with a qualifying purchase during celebration for January and February this year. So I'm using the little flying owl today, and I'm just going to stamp him in with using my Memento ink pad. I'm going to turn the stamp over and tap that on the back, trying not to jiggle my camera, and stamp that onto the end of this piece of card here. This is just our basic white card. Okay, and pop those to one side. And then while I'm there, I'm also going to stamp a sentiment, and from that set there are 3 sentiments in there: Hoot Hoot, you're so cute, it's your day, and my friend. So I'm just going to using my friend today. So I'm going to stamp that one on there and put that to one side. There, this top piece here I'm going to cut off, and we also have in the stylish shapes, we also have a nice little banner. So here's one I prepared earlier. So that's the another stitch die. Save that one for later. And this one I'm going to colour in for you. I'm going to start by using the ivory, which is kind of like a fleshy skin tone, and I'm going to colour around his eyes. Next I'm going to my light balmy blue, and I'm going to colour in just the centres of his eyes. I think I might use the larger end where the fat, you have a wide nib on here and a fine tip. So I'm just going to use this one here. Next I'm going for my light pumpkin pie. Again, I've got the fine and the brush tip. So I'm going to use the fine because I'm just colouring in his beak and just these feet as well. He's so cute, already coming to life, isn't he? I really must, when I colour in, I really must put my glasses on, so sorry. So for the rest of his face here, I'm going to be using the light grey granite. Now, I'm going to go through, just trying not to get my head in the way of the camera. I'm going to be colouring in around the outside of his features. Just putting some darker lines in, and then I'm going over to the brush tip to colour in the rest. This one is getting a little bit worn. It's on my list to replace in Celebration, my first order. I think I'm just going to go back to the fine tip on here, only because it's a little bit fuzzy.
Anything is possible. It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown strong together. You know it's all because everybody plays a part in doing what we love. You can bet it doesn't matter where you go.
So that's just outlining his little bib there as well, and then I'm going to try again with the nib that's just starting to fade. Just getting a little bit mushed on the end. It's been used. I love grey granite and it's one of my go-to colours. Okay, so then for the outside, I'm going to be putting a little touch of the darker grey granite. And I'm just going to accent some little portions of here. So again, the same's happened with this one. These are definitely on my replacement list in Celebration. So I'm just going to accent a few little pieces. And then just in his wings, I like to just stroke in around the features. Just with the fine tip there.
It's more than just a card you see. It's part of you, a part of me. It's creativity.
Just accenting a little bit. And then go with this nib as well. Just to blend that in. By stroking that, you can actually build up your layers as well. So if you don't have all the shades immediately that you would like to have in your collection, you can actually layer up your colours. Okay, and his head as well. So I've gone over this one, so I'm making the head and the feature, the body, a little bit darker. Just by going over those again. Adding some shading. And making the body stand out. Now we have a colour lifter here. Because of the colour, his face is a little bit too dark for me. So I'm just going to blend this in a little bit more with the colour lifter. Just lightening his face a bit. Around his eyes. Just helps to blend it in a little bit. Okay, I've done so many different combinations of the colours on here. It's lovely to play with all the different shades. Okay, I think that's done. So I'm going to fussy cut him now. I'm going to fussy cut one on here, just very, very slightly. And then I have got another one I've prepared earlier, possibly different colours. I'm just going to cut round here. Now I fussy cut using my left hand to swivel the image here and turning the card with my hands and keeping my scissors exactly where they are and work round, just taking my time just to pivot on the corners where I need and just move him along. So the colours on this owl are a little bit different. I do play about with different colours. Now I'm just going to point out to you that in between the legs here, there's this little piece here. Now, when I fussy cut round, I like to keep a nice clean image, but I don't like this piece here. So I have got my little knife here. It's a craft knife. Stampin' Up don't sell craft knives, but I'm just going to use a blade, a knife blade, a craft blade, whatever you have. And I'm just going to cut that little piece out. So I'm just going along those 3 straight edges, and then I'm going to pop that out through the middle. That would just come off there now. Okay, and take that piece away. I just don't like to see a lump of white on there. Oops, he's still attached. There he is, he's gone. So there he is in all his glory, and he's not got any white pieces. Oops, the daisy is all in his glory, and he's not got any white pieces showing. Okay, now I have got the camera rather close, a little bit further away on the camera. The little piece white between his legs there has gone. Now when you fussy cut, you end up with these slightly white edges in the little pieces in where you've cut in between all his features. Now here I have my Stampin' Right marker, the black one, and I'm going to remove the lid from the brush end here, and I'm just going to stroke this around the edges of his features. Because I've stamped in black, I just want to take that white away, and you should be able to see that I'm gradually just those white pieces are just going to disappear. So I'm starting at his ear and I'm going all the way around the features. With using the tip into the middle and just stroking around those edges.
Gonna love and live and share it today. We're gonna love, live and share it today. We're gonna love, live and share it today.
Just take those edges away. Okay, along the top of his head, along there, all the way to the end. Okay, and then as I turn him, you should be able to see all those white edges have disappeared. So bringing my project back on, I've got my little owl and I've got my sentiment here. We'll work out that one in a sec. So my owl, I'm going to add some dimensionals onto the back. I tend to go one on each eye and then one on his body.
You can bet it doesn't matter where you go. You find a friend who does just what.
Just press him flat to press on him. And then the sentiment, that can be wherever you'd like to position him. So I kind of like him just to be under the body here and just coming off to the side. So most of this will be on the flat with the with the Tombow, and then one little dimensional in this corner. I have one of my little mini dimensionals in that corner, and then Tombow along the rest of it. Okay, so if I tap my finger on the dimensional, it picks up. Using my trusted tweezers, I'm going to press this down flat so it doesn't move, tucking that end underneath his body and making sure he's nice and flat. This will then rest on the rest of the card. There we go. That's him finished. Now we all like a little bit of bling, don't we? So I'm going to add on here some of my champagne basic jewels. So just to randomly put these in the background. And a couple on the actual card itself. The centre there. Maybe one down here. And just a couple. So here is my finished front of my card. And it's just put with the gems on there. And now all it needs to do is just to put on the back of the card another set of layers. I'm using exactly the same sizes as on the front. So this layer is 5.8 by 14.6 or 2 1/8 of an inch by 5 1/8. And then the white layer is 5.5 by 14.3 or 2 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, and then that's adhered down. With hindsight, I would have adhered that to the card before I stuck the embellishments on. So it's easy to do that whilst it's flat. So before you pop this on. Okay, so there's the card finished. Cutie little pie. And you've got both colours a bit on show there. And then you've got the panel to write your sentiment on the back. There is my finished card. With the free celebration adorable owls and the free celebration papers on there. A couple of other samples just to give you an idea using the same colorways. We have a landscape and a portrait here using the same products. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation today. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of the presentations and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.